shadows, between the infected. But I wasn't smart enough. And this is how I died.
Survival games come in all shapes and sizes, but few hit as hard as the isometric ones. These games throw you into hostile environments. They demand strategy, resource management, and a sharp eye for every decision. Talk about frozen wastelands, desert badlands, or sprawling underground caverns. Our list today pushes the boundaries of what it means to survive, be it scavenging ruins or just trying not to end up zombie food. So let's dive into the 10 best isometric survival games you absolutely must play. How to Survive 2. Louisiana isn't exactly a vacation spot anymore, unless your idea of fun is scavenging for clean water, cobbling weapons from scrap, and building barricades to keep zombies from chewing on your campfire stories. Several years after the Los Riscos outbreak, the infection has spread across the globe, and now the bayous and French Quarter are crawling with the undead. That's where you come in, a fresh survivor, trying to carve out safety in a world gone rotten. At its core, this one is all about isometric survival with deep RPG mechanics. You craft armor, traps, and hundreds of weapons while leveling up your character into a specialized fighter, medic, or scavenger. Camps are central here. You construct and expand them with workshops, fortifications, and resource stations, and then defend them against zombie hordes. You can also share your base with up to 16 players online, or jump into split-screen sessions for local co-op chaos. Dynamic weather, day-night cycles, elite one-shot quests, and finish-move-kill animations keep the action unpredictable. And if you get careless about hunger, thirst, or inventory weight, expect a fast, ugly death. It's still a swamp-soaked survival gem worth revisiting.
At the military blockade, the message is clear. The Nox event is contained. I repeat, the Nox event is contained.
What happened here? What's happening here? It's not contained.
Project Zomboid. How does waking up in small-town Kentucky, where every creaking floorboard could give you away, and the only real certainty is that your character won't make it out alive forever, sound to you? This world is brutal, but it's also one of the most detailed survival sandboxes out there. The doors you open could hide a horde, every nightfall brings creeping dread, and even your character's mood swings, boredom, depression, or illness, can be as dangerous as the undead outside. You can barricade homes, chop trees to build a fortress, fish in rivers, or turn to farming as electricity falters and winter sets in. Zombie AI is relentless, reacting to sound and sight in ways that make hiding in shadows or covering windows with sheets feel essential, not optional. It's equally tense solo, or on persistent multiplayer servers, where whole communities of survivors can rise and fall. RPG-style skills evolve with your actions, while mods expand the already sprawling world. Vehicles add mobility, weather shapes your strategies, and each misstep writes a personal story of downfall. Released in 2013 by the indie Stone, it's the rare survival game that feels infinite in possibility.
We've adapted it to our needs. Used it for food, for warmth, and for shelter.
The Wild 8. A plane crash drops you into Alaska's frozen jaws, and survival becomes less about luxury and more about simply staying alive. The snow never lets up. The cold creeps in through every gap, and food and firewood are always in short supply. And there's also a mystery buried under the ice, one that pulls you deeper the longer you endure. You're not alone either. Up to 8 players can band together online, sharing resources and braving storms, though the option to strike out solo is always there if you want the challenge turned up to 11. At camp, survival systems run the show, cook meals, upgrade equipment, and patch yourself up after fending off wolves or bears. Out in the wild, you'll stumble into strange laboratories, supernatural anomalies, and remnants of something far more sinister than a simple crash site. You're constantly scouring for resources, evading blizzards, and crafting weapons to defend against beasts that stalk the forests. The stylized visuals keep the bleak tundra beautiful, while the soundtrack pulls you into its lonely atmosphere. It's a survival tale laced with mystery and danger. Don't starve together. Strange things await in a place called the Constant, where sanity slips away as fast as your hunger bar drains, and every shadow feels like it's watching you. This expansion takes the eerie, uncompromising survival of the original and pushes it into multiplayer chaos, letting you and your friends tackle its bizarre world together, or fall apart trying. The hook is variety. One moment you're planting crops and building up a cozy camp. The next you're fending off seasonal giants like deer clops or battling crawling horrors when your sanity dips too low. The world is procedurally generated, packed with biomes that range from hostile forests to sprawling caves and lunar islands, bringing their own resources and threats. Farming, crafting, and base building feel essential. But the unpredictability of wandering bosses and harsh seasons means even the most prepared group can be wiped out overnight. Character choice adds another layer, with each survivor offering quirky perks and drawbacks. Some thrive in combat, others lean into science or farming, and a few just make things weird in delightful ways. Launched in 2016 by Cly Entertainment, this standalone expansion is still going strong thanks to constant updates and a thriving community that embraces both cooperation and chaos. Kenshi. A desert stretches endlessly before you, harsh and indifferent, where the world doesn't care if you live or die. No chosen one, no hero's journey, just a fragile drifter starting at the very bottom. That's the beauty of this game. Survival isn't handed to you, it's clawed from the sand. At its heart, this is a free-roaming, squad-based RPG built entirely around player freedom. You're free to wander the 870 square kilometer map, recruit ragtag companions, and train them up from weak nobodies into hardened warriors. There's no level scaling here. Nearly everything is stronger than you at the start, and slavers, bandits, or even hungry cannibals are more than happy to turn your story into their meal ticket. Building plays a huge role too. Safe houses can become fortified outposts or bustling businesses, with research unlocking better defences, crafting stations, and advanced gear. Injuries matter in brutal detail. Broken legs mean crawling, lost arms or awkward one-handed combat, and amputations may leave you relying on robotic replacements. Every choice ripples across factions, economies, and ongoing wars in this living simulation. This 2018 release by Lo-Fi Games, after over a decade of development, it remains one of the deepest, most unforgiving sandbox survival RPGs ever made. Dysmantle. Stepping out of your underground shelter after years away feels almost freeing, until you realize the island you're on is crawling with twisted creatures and covered in ruins that refuse to stay quiet. The goal is simple: escape. But before that, you'll be breaking, smashing, and dismantling nearly every object you see, because in this world, materials are everywhere, and almost everything is harvestable. Survival here leans into progression and permanence. Instead of slowly starving, you're constantly growing stronger by crafting lasting weapons, tools, trinkets, and even outfits. Clearing areas of monsters lets you claim them as your own, and building outposts establishes safe zones in the hostile open world. Farming, hunting, and fishing aren't distractions. They feed into long-term upgrades, while cooking recipes grant permanent buffs that keep you alive when things get rough. Combat keeps you on edge when you're setting traps, going toe-to-toe with corrupted beasts, or diving into puzzle-filled tombs of the old ones to unlock powerful technology. Every corner hides secrets, from forgotten high-tech relics to ancient chambers with bizarre materials that reshape your survival path. Released in 2021 by 10 Tons Limited, this post-apocalypse is less about despair and more about thriving in a bittersweet, handcrafted sandbox. RimWorld. Colony Sim has 3 strangers crash on a remote planet, and from that first desperate moment, the story isn't scripted. It's generated by the game's AI storyteller pulling the strings. Maybe Cassandra Classic steadily raises the tension, Randy Random throws utter chaos at you, or Phoebe Chillax gives you a breather. Whatever the case, the game thrives on creating tales of survival, betrayal, and triumph in the face of relentless odds. The survival is deep. Colonists need food, shelter, and medicine, but their psychology can be even more dangerous than pirates or mechanoids. Relationships form and fall apart. Stress leads to breakdowns, and every colonist comes with quirks. Your genius scientist might refuse to talk to people, while your nobleman won't lift a finger for manual labor. Combat is basically tactical gunfights with melee chaos here, where wounds are tracked down to individual body parts. Amputations, prosthetics, and bionics turn injury into another layer of survival management. Beyond the base, you're free to pack up caravans, raid rival colonies, or trade with distant factions. Different biomes, from frozen tundras to sweltering jungles, transform how you survive, with diseases, resources, and wildlife shifting the balance. Released in 2018 by Ludion Studios, it's still one of the richest colony survival simulations ever created. Scavenger. Waking up in a derelict facility outside Detroit with no memory of who you are is bad enough, but add in hunger gnawing at your stomach, freezing winds, and the constant threat of raiders or worse, and survival becomes a delicate balancing act. Every decision in this turn-based wasteland matters. Do you risk scavenging that ruin for supplies, or will it collapse on you? Do you light a fire to keep from freezing, knowing it might attract someone dangerous? This one thrives on systems that feel brutally real. Hunger, thirst, fatigue, hypothermia, and even disease track your every move, while wounds bleed, get infected, and sometimes cripple you permanently. Combat is descriptive and tactical, with actions like tackle, threaten, or kick while down, giving every fight a gritty, text-driven tension. There's no XP grind here. Progress comes only from learning how to play smarter and tailoring your character's abilities to fit your chosen survival style. Crafting uses whatever scraps you can find. A scope from broken binoculars, traps from pill bottles and rocks, or patched-together clothes scavenged from corpses. Scavenger still stands out as a survival roguelike. core keeper. Buried beneath the surface lies a labyrinth of biomes, relics, and secrets waiting to be unearthed. You awaken in a forgotten cavern with only a faintly pulsing core at its center. And from there, the journey spirals into mining expeditions, crafting sessions, and titanic battles. No, you're not just going to be digging tunnels, you're also going to build a life underground, while unraveling the mysteries of a world lost to time. Exploration is the heart of the game. The biomes are distinct, from clay caverns and shimmering crystal zones to sprawling deserts and the sunken sea. You'll mine ores, gather rare loot, and use resources to upgrade into advanced tools and even automated machinery. Farming, fishing, cooking, and animal raising give the cavern an almost homely rhythm, while puzzles and hidden lore reward curiosity. But danger pulses in the dark. Colossal titans guard the underground. Combat shifts from traps and bombs to specialized weapons, keeping fights tense and rewarding. With 1 to 8 player drop-in drop-out co-op, it's just as fun solo as it is with friends carving out massive bases together. This 2024 release by Pugstorm and Fireshine Games is survival and discovery stitched into one glowing adventure.
Today, the governor of Washington declared a state of emergency as an unknown viral outbreak continues to spread across the country, with cases on the rise and 13 confirmed fatalities.
As one, we survive. The apocalypse hasn't arrived on your screen just yet, but it's coming in the form of a survival sim where personal stakes and community building collide. As One We Survive, set to launch in early access in 2025, places you in the shoes of a father struggling to keep his sick daughter alive in a post-pandemic America where the power grid is gone and society has collapsed. The game mixes story-driven survival with colony management, letting you scavenge and craft, while also recruiting survivors to form a community. The decisions really matter. Building renewable resources like farms or water facilities may mean long-term stability, while neglect could doom everyone. Combat is harsh and grounded. There are no instant health kits, only bandages, rest, and the hope your weapons don't break mid-fight. 2 modes are planned. A narrative-focused story mode tied to the father's desperate mission, and a sandbox survival mode where the world tests you relentlessly. Revelation Games LLC is actively shaping it through player feedback during early access, promising deeper content and polished systems at full release. It's one to watch closely if you're after something new when it comes to emotional storytelling and unforgiving survival. From colony sims driven by AI storytellers to post-apocalyptic roguelikes where every turn could be your last, these isometric survival games prove the genre's incredible depth. It's really about chasing the thrill of lasting one more day in a world that doesn't care if you make it. If you're after games that challenge your instincts while giving you endless replay value, this list has you covered. Now it's your turn. Tell us which survival game tested you the hardest.